To help protect your Medisoft data from unauthorized access, you'll need to set up user login and passwords for each of your Medisoft users. These settings are applied only to the practice that you're currently logged into. If you do have multiple databases, you must do the security setup in each of those databases. This will allow access to only those staff authorized to access that particular database. You can set up the same user login for each of the practices if you have staff that need to access multiple databases or multiple accounts. Another benefit to setting the security logins up is that it will also allow you to track who entered different transactions if you perform an audit log. This also allows you to control permission level settings for each of those staff members. For example, in some offices, they only want the front office staff to be, or the scheduler to access the calendar and view charts, but they don't want them to have access to reports and financials. So this will allow you to control those permission levels. Let me show you how to do that. So you're going to go to the File menu. You're going to go down to Select Security Setup. This is going to give you the security setup screen. You're going to click New because currently there's no logins currently set up. And it's going to give you the user entry screen. In the first field for login name, it allows you to enter up to 10 characters. This login name here, the user login, is not case sensitive, and when you key it in, it always puts it in capital letters. The next field is the full name. This is where you're going to type in whose login this is. This field allows up to 16 characters, so if it's a long last name, just go ahead and abbreviate it. It's just to identify who the user login belongs to. The next field is password. This allows you up to 8 characters. The password is not case sensitive either. You can use characters, you can use numbers, you can also use symbols. You can use anything you'd like to up to 8 characters. Okay. Then you're going to hit Tab, and it's going to bring you down to this next field to reconfirm the password that you just typed in. You just want to type in the exact same password. Next, it brings you to the access level. Access level 1 is the highest access level, like an administrative level. Access level 5 is the least access or permission level, so that's going to restrict you on a lot of areas in your Medisoft. So you always want to make sure you have at least one user login that has an access level 1 to get back into the screen to change other user login and pass. Next, you have the expiration date. We don't recommend if you're a full-time or a permanent staff member to set up an expiration date because then you will have to continue to change it. The expiration date, however, is good for those temporary workers in your office. That way it will expire and they will no longer have access. Under the Question tab, this will allow you to set up a security question if you happen to forget your password. It'll allow you to, it'll ask the question and allow you to reset it. So it does give you a drop-down list and you can select which question you'd like. And then go ahead and type your answer. And again, you'll reconfirm that answer and hit Save. This will now add your user to your list, your security list. So as soon as you create the first user login, what this does is it prevents anyone else from entering in your Medisoft without having a user login. So if you have multiple staff, make sure you create one for them right away as well. Otherwise, they will not be able to get back into Medisoft once they close out of it without a user login. So to create another one, you'll just click the New button again and do the same, repeat the same steps we just did for the next user login. You cannot repeat the same user login more than once, so in the same database. However, again, if you do have multiple databases, you will then go up to the File menu, click Open Practice, go to your next database, and go back up to File, Security Setup for that next database, and it will allow you to create the same one. So if I wanted my biller login in the second account, I can create that same login here. And again, you will need to create a user access or security access in each of your databases. If you need to deactivate a user login, you go back to the File menu, go back to Security Setup, select the user login you wish to deactivate, and click Edit, or you can simply double-click on the full name. There's a box just to the top right-hand corner of Login Name. You'll simply put a check mark in that box and click Save. That will inactivate that user login. Or if you choose to permanently delete that user login, just simply highlight the user login as it is here in blue and click the Delete button. It's going to ask you to confirm that you want to delete this user login. Click Yes, and that user login is permanently deleted from your Medisoft security setup.